Leg is deteriorating. It's like inaoza. You see it's black, pus is oozing from it, it's smelling. There is no there's no medication, there's no money. This is where it changed. I decided to fast in my pains. I took a 7-day fast. And I will not pray, I will just cry. Tell God, just let your will be done. And your will should not be amputation. From the car, they have to bring the wheelchair. I have to be put on that wheelchair, and it will make me very bitter. And there is this day after me being taken from the car, there is this nurse who brought the wheelchair. I told him, nimekwambia tafuteni mgonjwa mweke kwa hiyo wheelchair. And I left them standing there with the wheelchair. I walked with my crutches, and the Elizabeth was too heavy.
How did you overcome the bitterness?
This bitterness has been there for a long period until I started like accepting the situation. After 4 years, it's when I came to learn that we were 16 in that matatu, and only 3 survived, and I'm the only lady among 2 men, and those police told me, and I'm the first one to go there for P3, meaning they didn't know the 2. If
they don't know whether they made it or not.
They don't know.
We have Judy. She's returning today to come and continue with her story. Her journey has been long. She was involved in an accident, in a car accident, and she got badly injured on her leg, and she has been sharing her story. So if you're watching this video for the very first time, please pause, go and start watching the first one, last week's episode, and then come back to this one kwa sababu story itakuwa imeanzia katikati. Alright, so do that. And remember to add your subscription. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please consider doing that. Also share our videos, because I know that there is something or someone in this show that will minister to you. Even when you share, you're ministering to other people, and also you help us keep the show on the airwaves. So thank you so much. Judy, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Good to see you.
Pleasure being here once again.
Yeah. Karibu, wiki yako imekuwaje?
Imekuwa salama, nashukuru.
Yeah. Amen. So thank you even for willing to share your story. By sharing your story, you are really encouraging a lot of people. There are people who are bedridden right now. Some are in hospital beds, some are getting ready to go in for surgery, and they're feeling hopeless. They're feeling like, oh my gosh, this is the end. You know, and your story and your testimony indeed is a ministry, and is going to encourage a lot of people.
Amen.
Yeah. So you were telling us, where we reached last week, is that you're telling us it got to a place, your sister's finances were a bit challenged, and you did not have enough medication, or rather maybe you didn't have medication, so things started taking another turn. So maybe we can go back to that story.
Okay, thank you for having me once again. It's pleasure. Thank you. Oh, okay. Now we are in 2015, around March. We are in 2015 around March, and my leg had begun to deteriorate. Actually, at some point, it turned the color, and it was turning to black, whereby I could compare with the other leg was my skin color, and the injured one was actually black. And this made me start thinking otherwise. It opened me, and then I was like, what is happening with me? I was on medication since I got injured. I was on the whole process I was on medication, and it reached a point. Now I don't have my own money. There is no income. I'm depending on my sisters. Basically, my sisters were my support system during that period. So they could contribute and buy me medication. And where I used to work, there's a point they could buy me shopping and bring. There's a point they contributed money for my medication. But I'm coming to that before they brought me money that helped me for my medication. So the condition was worsening, and also when visiting the doctor for the checkup, I was also getting a bad report, and this weighed me down. down. I was like, I was hopeful. I believed that I would recover. I would walk again now. What is happening? Yeah, I could go to the clinic. I couldn't get the exact consultant who had encouraged me and told me that with this you will recover, you'll be able to walk. I couldn't find him there. I could just find other doctors, other consultants, and they were like the first one. I remember after going for like 3 times not getting that consultant, I would be checked by other doctors and who didn't know exactly my journey, but they were with me in the ward. So like they knew there was this argument between 3 doctors. 2 ampute the leg, 1 don't ampute the leg. So this one whom said don't ampute the leg is the one who walked me through all that journey until we're in March. So he was the only one who could write prescriptions, blah blah. So it reached a point I would go for a checkup and I couldn't be able to see him. I would be told he's not around, he's not in Kenya, he went to India, he'll be back. And actually me going even for a checkup, it was costly because during those moments there were no Ubers. You could just take a private car, which was costly. You're not working, you're depending on people. They have to pay your taxi. The guy taking you has maybe to wait for you, and he would charge us like 3,500 to go to Kenyatta. And like now you can take an Uber 400 shillings. On the maximum level. But during those moments there were no Ubers, so we could take private cars and the driver would charge me 3,000, 3,500. That was costly. Adding that I was using medication, the trip to the hospital, consultation fee, you are supposed to pay consultation fee for you to see the doctor. Now I would go, the doctor is not there, but you've already paid the consultation fee, to not be returned back. You'll just be told come next week. Next Tuesday, I will prepare myself.
So this is every week?
Every week, because I'm going there. The doctor who is supposed to give the right review is not there. I'm getting those who back then told me their amputation was their opinion. So
what reasons were they giving you?
They said like the main bone had multiple complex fractures, and per them it could not be fixed. Like it would take long time for recovery. So I think they were basing on the shortcut. Just ampute the leg, you use the artificial leg, you go back to your activities. But basically someone with an artificial leg doesn't go back to normal life because it has its own consequences. You'll not be like a normal person. So I would go for the checkups. Like I went there for checkup 3 times without finding that consultant. I would become so furious. I became bitter. I became bitter with the world because I would ask myself, do these doctors know the pain I have to go through even just coming to the hospital, the movement of the leg? Because actually, if I was to sit like this, those wires, because my pita are fresh, they will start oozing blood. So me walking, I would be bleeding. So basically they would pull me on a stretcher for the clinics, get me back to the car and go back home. And it was just painful. You have to go very early in the morning. That cold, the leg would become so pain. I had to take painkillers before leaving the house. And it will be a long day there in Kenya. I would wait until 12, 1, 2. And in the end, you're not seeing that doctor that is supposed to review you. So I remember when things started taking a wrong turn. The first review I was told by a certain doctor. I remember him very well, even by the name. He asked me, what is your age? I responded back. He was like, you are very, very young. Let us just ampute the leg. You put on the artificial one and you continue with your life. That day, it's my brother. My brother Barton is the one who had taken me for the clinic. And my boyfriend was also there. So he asked my brother, what is your opinion? My brother just kept quiet and nodded. And My boyfriend told him, no, that is not our opinion. And the doctor asked me, how about you? I told him I believed in the doctor who said I would walk again. And I'm still believing in his word. Yeah, I'm going with his word. I told him, your option of amputation on my list is option E. We have option A, B, C, D. Yours will come when we've exhausted all possibilities of making me walk again. And he just nodded his head and was like, okay, you come next week, we see if the doctor will be there. The second time, the following week I came, same situation. I found another doctor. The other consultant, the previous one was not there. I found another one who reviewed my case, and he was like, he asked same questions. What is your age? This thing will take you long. I know, I see the courage in you. You want to walk again, but again, you are very young. Just ampute the leg. You do the artificial, go back to your daily activities. They will ask me, what were you doing? Nini, blah, blah. And I will be like, I told him I was with my sister that day, Harriet. I told Daktari, no. If the consultant who told me I will walk again says whatever you are saying, I will go with his word. But your words, it's a big no. Then he said, okay, try next week. And here we are using taxi to go to the hospital, back, and the pain and paying the consultation fee.
Are they not aware when the main doctor is coming?
They're just telling me, they will ask me, who is the doctor you're referring to? And I will tell them, and they will say, your doctor is not in Kenya. He's away. And then I will tell them I will wait for him. And they will tell me, come next week, you'll get them. The third week I went, I got a clinician. And like this clinician had been seeing me come. And he could see my face, how I will look when I get out of that room. So when I met this clinician, told me, he asked my story, I explained. And he told me, I cannot handle your case. He asked me, what are you being told by other doctors? I told him what is going on. Now the only thing I'm being told here is to ampute the leg. And he told me I can't give you any feedback concerning your condition because it is beyond me. He asked me the doctor that I was referring to. I will go with his words. Then I told him. He told me he will do a follow-up, and by next week, be sure you will see the doctor. I asked him. I was very furious. I asked him, what if I don't see that doctor again? And I use a taxi to come here. The process is painful. I pay consultation fee. What will happen? He told me, when this consultation, you'll reuse it for the next checkup. And he assured me, if you come next week and you don't get the doctor, I'll pay your taxi. Because I think he felt my pain. Yeah, and I looked so frustrated. I told him, you just look for that doctor because I'm waiting for his word. I'll not do whatever other doctors are telling me. And he told me, be sure next week you'll get the doctor. And then we go back home. Report is amputation. Home, I started refusing even to eat food because I was like, we are in March, this is basically a year.
It's a year.
I've been on that traumatizing Elizarov set. I've been in trauma for 1 year, on medication, in pains, and you're telling me the only option is to amputation. I told them, no, that is not for me.
What's driving you? Because you're saying the leg is deteriorating. When you look at it, it's turning color.
Yeah, at that point, I had turned my thinking. I was positive that I would walk. I think that doctor's word stuck in my mind. I was like, this doctor told me I will walk again. I'm going with his word. And my faith began to increase. I becoming positive, although sometimes I could question God and tell him, Lord, you just have to take me out of this situation. The leg is deteriorating. It's like inaoza. You see it's black, pus is oozing from it, it's smelling. There is no there's no medication, there's no money. Then I'm like, what is happening? I'm being told for amputation. There is no even medication to give me a positive vibe that it's going to be okay. Now, this is where it changed. I decided to fast in my pains. I took a 7-day fast. So in the morning, my niece and nephew would put food on the table. I will not eat. And I will not pray. I will just cry. Tell God, just let your will be done. And your will should not be amputation. You know, sometimes in certain situations, they tell us that let the will of God be done. But I was telling God, it's not your will of amputation. No, that one I refuse. Just preserve my leg. That is what I would pray. Just preserve my leg. Just bring a turn around. I don't know how, but just bring a turn around. Like I was living. Then in the evening, my niece would come back. They find food, so I would break. I would fast until 4 p.m. Now, when I was on my 7-day fasting, on the 4th day, I remember the manager. And if you remember the manager, whom I used to work with, called me. She called me and asked me, Judy, how are you doing? Blah blah. I told her. And I told her, actually, I'm not so okay. The leg is deteriorating. There is no medication. Nini. And he asked, how much do you need for the medication? And I told her it was 14,000. And I told her, okay, let's see what we can do. That was on Thursday. I began Monday praying, and it was on Thursday when you called. She's the manager. Okay, and on Friday you sent someone. And believe you, I was given 15,000. I was brought an envelope. Checking inside, I got 15K. And I told God, indeed, God answers prayers. Hata sijui kama niliendelea kufast. I don't know. It was a 7-day fasting, but on the 5th day after I got money, I don't remember if I continued fasting, because I was like, this is what I was praying for, and God has answered.
Yeah.
My sister came, took the money, she bought me medication. Now I'm like, I have to keep on believing God.
Yeah.
If He has done this, then there is more He can do for me.
Yeah.
I started reading my Bible daily. I would read the Bible in the night when people are sleeping, because I could sleep most of the time during the day. I would switch off my phone. During the day I could sleep, and in the night when people are sleeping, I would read my Bible. I would pray. And we just tell God, preserve my leg. That moment, I've not yet met that doctor. I had been told to go after 2 weeks. Now I have the medication. I'm taking my medication. I'm okay. So when I went for the other visit, I found the doctor. Just seeing him, it really encouraged me. I was like, malaika wangu sasa ndio huyu. The one who has to tell me I'm going to walk is here. I don't, regardless of them two telling me it will take long, just impute. My angel is here to tell me you are going to walk. So I went to that room. I smiled to that doctor, and he was like, hey, it's you. I told him, it's you. I asked him, Doctor, where have you been? I've been coming here, and your doctors, your fellow doctors, have been telling me to ampute the leg. If you just delayed, you could have found me without a leg. Where were you? And we cracked jokes, and he told me, no, I'm back. He asked, where are my x-rays? And unfortunately, the day I'm meeting the doctor, my x-rays went missing. They could not trace my envelope, which carried my x-rays. He tried to tell the records people to check, and they told him they can't trace my x-rays. So the doctor told me he can't give any review without the x-rays. He told me to go and do an x-ray. He will be waiting for me, and then I come back so that he checks them. I went and did the x-ray and came back, and the report the doctor gave me was totally different from the others. And I was like, what is happening? He told me, your leg is doing well. In fact, it's already a year, and that Elizabeth I was to stay with, it was not at a year. It was a couple of months from discharge. The Elizabeth was put on in August, and I had to stay with it 6 months doing the transportation of the bone. So I could screw those nuts on the Elizarov. I could screw. There were 4. In the morning around like 6 you turn 90. Around 12 another 90, that is 180 degrees. And then around 4 another 90 degrees, that is 270 degrees. And then in the night like 10 p.m. another 90 to achieve 360 degrees. So that is how we were transporting the bone. So, and with the 4 nuts I could screw 4. You go to the other ring, to the other ring, to the other ring. No, I used to transport 2 rings. The middle one.
So the leg had broken. So you had a broken bone. And what you're doing is that you're pulling the two together.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was pulling the two rings together.
So was that painful when you're doing it?
It was so painful.
But you have to do it yourself.
If my sister was there, she could help me, because lifting the Elizabeth was too heavy for me, and again you could not even see the bottom part. But if someone is not there, I could struggle, raise that leg and screw the nuts. And in by four, my niece and nephew could help me hold the leg. Mwingine amulike, I screw. Okay. Yeah. So we are in around April, May. Yeah. Of 2015. It's almost a year, not yet. The Elizabeth was put in August. 9 months. 9 months, so we are approaching the 1 year. Yeah. Because the doctor told me in August 2015 is when he was going to remove it. That is after a year. Yeah. So this is March, being told amputation April. I came and think to see the doctor in May. He checked the x-rays and told me the leg was doing good. He gave me another month. So I was to stop I had stopped screwing the nuts. So I had to stop, and he told me to give it a period, like 3 months. We wait. Then in August, he rescheduled I was to be admitted back to the hospital for the removal of the external fixator. That is in August 2015. Now we are going to the 5th surgery. Yeah, it's the removal of the fixator. So I went. Getting a bed in Kenyatta is not that easy, especially Ward 6, where there are orthopedic patients. So I went there, and I was just lying on the stretcher with my sister waiting. It was lunchtime, so we were to wait for those visiting the patients to go, and then we could go and see the matron. And fortunately, that consultant who used to tell me just amputate the leg passed by, and he recognized me, and he came to say hi, and he asked me, "What are you doing here?" I told him. I was very bold just to let him know I'm here for the removal of the Elizabeth and my leg is doing okay. Yeah. I was so bold and happy to see him. Like I'm shaming the devil. So he asked, "What are you here for?" I told him I'm here for the removal of the Elizabeth. And then he asked, "How is the condition of the leg?" I told him it's doing fine. Yes, it's doing okay. "Did you see the doctor?" "Yes." He checked my papers, and then he's like, "No wonder you are positive." He said, in fact, hautapanga line. He told my sister to pull the stretch and follow him. We went, and I was given a bed. Yeah, and I was admitted for the surgery the following day. They removed the Elizabeth. But before the removal of the Elizabeth, the consultant had told us to buy a vacuum boot. It's a special boot for special fractures, like for complex fractures. It's to help strengthen the leg. Yeah. So he had told me to buy the vacuum boot. So I had gone to the hospital with the vacuum boot. I was taken to theatre the following day. They removed the Elizabeth, and during the process of removing the Elizabeth and the machine's x-rays, the doctor told me, unfortunately, my leg had got an infection. The bone had got infection. So they had to remove part of the bone. I think it was 8 centimeters. He told me they have removed 8 centimeters of the bone. But he told me, "Don't worry, you'll be fine." And they put the leg on that vacuum boot. It's just a boot you can remove and wear. You can do it even yourself. And before they wheeled me out of the theatre, the assistant who was also there in that journey. She's the assistant. She's the doctor who told us not to change the hospital. She was there all these surgeries. She told me, "Judy, I would recommend you be seeing the same doctor but in a different hospital because he doesn't come to Kenyatta. He's not there most of the time. So I would recommend you be going to a certain hospital where you'll be going for clinic, and you'll be getting him without failure." So after discharge, the doctor contacted me and told me, "We are scheduling you to come to St. Francis. Now I started going to St. Francis Hospital, the one at Mwiki.
Okay.
So I started going there, and I could get the doctor. Although consultation fee was a bit high, but there is no day I went there and missed him. And failed to see him. So now there is no fixate on my leg. I'm using the special.
And now all the wounds, the color has returned.
Actually, it healed, but the scar is still there. Okay. Yeah, but it healed. The wounds were very minor. They were very minor wounds that I could just clean myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started going to St. Francis. I had the fixator was not on my leg.
Yeah.
That is in September now of 2015. I'm using the boot, although I'm just putting on very little weight, very little, and I was using both the crutches. Now in November, the doctor told me, because they had removed part of the bone, now he breaks the news. He has to put me back to the Elizarov. Then I'm like, why? And he told me, do you remember I told you we had removed part of the bone that had got infected? I told him yes. Then he told me, now I cannot walk with that leg here because it has no strength. And the bones were not joined.
Together,
Iko tu, yo part ya bone unaona tu ni nyama. There is no bone actually. There is a part I could see. There is no bone. So he told me, we are going to put back the Elizarov. Then I'm like, I asked him another year. He told me, as long as you walk, don't concentrate on how long it will take. You've been there for more than a year. I've seen you, like, you have the boldness that it will be okay. So, can we give it a try? I told him, Doctor, as long as I walk, I'm ready to do whatever you tell me. I'll do it. Then I continued going for the checkups. I think he wanted the wounds to get healed completely. So there were some minor kidogo too. Now he rescheduled my surgery, my 6th surgery, for again the external fixator to be put back. Then I'm like, another year. Chini. My age mates are working. Mimi ni hospitali, nyumbani. Hospital home. There's no place I used to go. I could not even go to church because I could not even sit and attend the service. So it was a hospital home. I told him it's okay. He told us we have to buy the iso wires za kuweka kwa flesh, but we could still reuse the circular ones. Yeah, but the iso pins, we were to buy them. Now we collected some money and we were ready to buy. We told him we are ready. I remember that day I was with my sister. It was towards December. Because my sister had gone with my sister to the hospital. Now he has to give us a breakdown of what is required of us for me to be admitted, for the external fixator to be put. We go to the room. He took the sheet, wrote. I didn't know what is on that sheet. So I just had the assistant asking the consultant, you've written 0. Then doctor told him, yes, I've written 0, even for the sterilization of the external fixator. It's 0. Then that doctor was like, he was surprised how. But then I didn't know what was going on. He gave me the paper. I didn't know even surgeon fees how much. I just thought it's few cash. Went home, prepared ourselves, bought the pins, nini. The day of I went, got admitted. It was in December now, 2015. I got admitted. I remember on admission day, I went with my younger sister, Lynette. My elder sister was at work and she had been threatened. Utaenda nyumbani ukae na wewe sister yako, wewe mwenye unashinda ukituimbia. So her work was like she had kuibembeleza for her to be at work, and again we needed that money. So my younger sister had to take me for the admission. Upon going to the room, ward now, those nurses are like, they're looking at my paper, looking at us, they're looking at my name. They're like, this doctor is from eastern part of Kenya, this lady is from western part of Kenya, there's no connection. by then I haven't realized why the zero, what is carrying the zero. And in fact, I'd written in word zero on surgeon fee. So these nurses were like furious. Why zero? They even called my younger sister and started interrogating her, and I could overhear them. Then I just texted my sister, don't answer any of the question they're asking. You just tell them to contact the doctor. Because, you see, my name is already in the system. I don't know.
Yeah.
They should question the doctor why he put the zero. And they could just come and look at me. I'm like, they're like, why? Even the sterilization of the external fixated is zero. Then I'm like, okay, it's the order from above. What can you do about it?
Yeah.
I went for surgery. Now that is the 6th surgery. They put back the implant. Another 1 year down. Now 2016 we are in December 2015. Now 2016. Bedridden on the bed. Dressing. Sasa hiyo wire without the wounds, without small wounds, will sterilize the fixate. Yeah. I was on medication throughout, but the pain had ceased, and I think it was because of the infection of the bone that was causing a lot of pain and the pus. I came to realize that because after that fixate, I was not in so much pain. No, though I could not even I could not bear weight on the leg, but the pain one kidog. Yeah, so I was on medication. The whole process. We did again the transportation of the bone, screwing those nuts every day, going for the checkups. In May, I was told to stop the screwing. Now we give it another 5-6 months. But the doctor in September 2016, he said the leg is okay. Yeah, he said it's okay. Now here I'm excited. Yeah, but kwa utoto wangu, I didn't know what was waiting for me in that excitement of the removal of the Lizarov. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, it's free. Then my sister told me, Judy, you're saying you are happy they are going to remove the Lizarov. I'm also happy, but do you know how much we need? It's going to cost. Do you know how? And to take you back a little bit back, when I was in the ward after they had put the Lizarov, I told you the zero, I didn't know what the zero meant. Yeah. So when I was in the ward, I overheard a patient who were two in the room. I overheard the other patient. They were discussing with the mother and the daughter. The daughter was the patient. And this daughter happens to have been the student of this doctor who was treating me. And he was also his doctor. So they were doing calculations of how much they spent for them to be admitted, and then I could hear them saying the implant costed us 200,000, and I was so curious to hear surgeon fees how much. Now the doctor is the same. Yeah. And I heard them saying surgeon fee 110,000. Then I'm like, so this doctor wrote zero instead of 110,000. They continue calculating the sterilization of the implant 25,000, and on my sheet it was zero. And then I'm like, this can only be God. And this is where I started connecting with God so deep. I'm like, this is just the doing of the Lord. Because mimi sijuani na huyu daktari, I'm not his relative, neither do we share the tribe, but I could be like, how? Or maybe he just saw the condition I've been in. I don't know. Ni Mungu aliingia ndani yake for him to write that zero. I don't know. Then I was like, that is why those nurses were furious. Yeah. But there's nothing they could do because they were not the surgeon. The surgeon had already indicated zero and I had signed. Yeah. Then when I meet my sister, I'm like, do you know what the zero carried? The zero was supposed to be 110,000. Then she was like, sasa tungetoa hiyo wapi? Now we are in September. They're going to remove the Elizarov. I'm very excited. Naenda kuachana na uzito wa mguu. Yeah. Then my sister asked me, Judy, sasa unafurahi, and surgeon fee, you remember uliambiwa zero, like the process was easier for us, the bill wasn't that big. Here we are going to remove the Elizarov, and you are excited. Where are we getting the surgeon fee? Then I told her boldly, the God who did it, the God who made that doctor to write zero, he will make him write zero again. Then I'm like, umesikia daktari ni mkona ukona. And then nikamwambia, hata Mungu anajua tu. God knows I don't have money, and the Elizarov has to be removed from my leg. So he will just make a way. I don't know how, but I will they will remove the elizarov on my leg. And he was like, I see you're so determined. Then I'm like, and what if he doesn't write that 0? Now when I'm alone, I'm like, and what if I'm told 110,000? How will you get that money? Now my sister mobilized for Harambe in our home, Mushago. He mobilized, they were planning, they were still making arrangement for the Harambe to be carried. Then I'm like, even that Harambe, if it takes place, how much will we collect? Will it be that 110? And the bill still, we have the theater fee, there is so much. Anesthetist fee, there is bed, there is food, there is a lot. So if you're depending on that Harambe, will it be enough? And I just told my sister, no. The God who did it, and the God who allowed this thing to be put on my leg, he'll make a way for it to itolewe. I don't know how. Then he told me, sawa, let's arrange for the Harambe. And before the Harambe happens, the doctor, I had the appointment with the doctor before the Harambe happens. On this day, I have no one to take me even for the clinic. Because it was always my sister, and she's working. So it was like his work was in jeopardy. It's my niece who was that 8 years. She's the one who took me to the hospital.
An 8-year-old?
An 8-year-old girl. She carried my small bag to make her the documents, kitabu ya kadi ya clinic, whatever we require. She was carrying that bag. We went to the hospital. Now that is the day they have to determine when I'm supposed to be admitted for the removal of the elizarov. And I didn't know that is the day the doctor was going to put down everything that is required. Now we got to the room and she cracked a joke on my niece. She was like, you didn't go to the school? And she's like, there's no one to bring my niece, my aunt. I had to bring her. My mom is at work. I had to bring my aunt today. And she said, now you've missed classes. Then she was like, yeah, no problem. I'll go to school tomorrow. And I felt like Dr. felt something. Like, I don't know, he felt whatever we were going through, I don't know. Now I'm like, it's now God for you to do that thing I told you. It's you who put the elizarov on the leg. Now just cause that doctor. Vile aliandika tu ile 0. Just hold his hand. And I left that room when I'm dumb. I could not speak. I was just shaking my head and smiling. Then my sister called. I told him we are done. And she called to ask about the report. What were you told? And I told her, you'll be surprised with what I'm going to tell you. She just said, you tell me. And I'm like, I've been told to go on this date, 25th of September. I remember the date. That is, we are going for the 7th surgery now. I've been told to be admitted on 25th of September for the removal of the leg. And she's like, nini ingine? And I told him, and the surgeon fee is 0. I don't know if my sister continued standing wherever she was, or if she was seated, maybe she stood up. She was like, what do you mean? I told her, yes. It is 0. In the evening, she came and said, repeat again. What did you say? I gave her the papers, the sheet for the admission. And she was like, Judy, I believe in the God you are believing in. Because you said it with your word, Mungu mwenye alive. The doctor who caused that doctor to write 0 will still cause him to write that 0. And we didn't even wait for that Harambe to happen. Because the admission was on that Saturday, the same day Harambe was happening at our home. The same day I was admitted. Then he was like, should we cancel the Harambe? No. I told him, this journey is long. Because I think I had started picturing where I'm headed. After this, there is physiotherapy. My NHIF has to be paid. Where will we get money? I've already drained you. So I told him, let the Harambe take place. And we just went to the hospital. I was admitted. And he said she will even get a loan to pay the bill, because she knew it wouldn't be that much now that there was a 0 for the surgeon fee, which was the costly amount on the bill. Went, I was admitted. The surgery was done on Sunday, and they removed the fixator, and I could now see my leg give when you mekonda, and I was like, I'm just happy that I've removed the fixator, but will I even walk with this leg? Because it appeared so weak, very thin compared to the other, but I was still like, the doctor said I will walk. And I was discharged. Same day I had the operation, I was discharged because we didn't have money to pay for the bill. We were like, tumeexhaust watu kuwaomba. Now what happens after the surgery around 6, the one who was the driver mwenye sistangu alikuwa mate, he had to help carry me because I was still under the anesthesia medications. So he had to carry me because I could not feel my legs. Carried me to the car, went home, and now I'm back to that vacuum boot again. The next review, the doctor tells me to start bearing weight kidogo kidogo, and I was now comfortable at least using the crutches, because initially I could be taken to the hospital, they would bring a wheelchair, I would be wheeled as I go to see the doctor. And that thing really used to disturb me. I would be like, I was on my legs. Now for me to, from the car, they have to bring the wheelchair, I have to be put on that wheelchair, and it will make me very bitter. And there is this day after me being taken from the car, there is this nurse who brought the wheelchair. I told him, tafuta wagonjwa ndio beba na hiyo wheelchair. I'm not a patient. Then my sister looked at me, Judy, you cannot walk, just sit on the wheelchair. I told him, nimekwambia tafuteni mgonjwa mweke kwa hiyo wheelchair. And I left them standing there with the wheelchair. I walked with my crutches, and the Elizabeth was too heavy. I'm walking. Then she's like, will you manage walking? Nikamwambia, I've told you I'm not going to sit on that wheelchair again. And that was the last day they used a wheelchair on me. Nikienda clinics, I would arrive at a place where they are lighting me. I would use my crutches, go to the room. Yeah.
So we see sometimes when people are being cared for, when they are sick, they become bitter.
Yeah.
So what's the best way to help when someone is bitter? You keep quiet, or you help them? What do you?
I think you just have to understand your patient. What does she want? Like if she's told you no, at some point you have to give him or her the space and do whatever she feels is okay for the person, because she'll feel like, kwani niko aje mnataka kuniweka kwa wheelchair? I could feel I'm getting well. Why are you putting me on the wheelchair? I don't want that wheelchair. And basically I could not walk because that Elizabeth was heavy, and I could
it's round, so you can't walk straight.
And everyone is staring at you, and those people staring at me, I would even abuse them. Tell them mnaangalia nani? Mimi ndo natumia kwa crutches peke yangu. I was so bitter, and I was bitter. I will tell them, wengine si patients, mimi ndo mnaangalia. But it was the uniqueness of the thing that was on my leg. I will become so bitter. Tell them mnaangalia nani?
So ulikuwa unavaa nini?
Sasa hiyo chuma, I would wear a dress, and then nikiwako kwa wheelchair I would funika less ndio watu wasiniangalie. So when I'm just seated, people think I'm okay, but if I'm to move from that wheelchair, people will even run. Even patients will give me space. They will move for me to pass. Sasa tusai kuingia kwa daktari na staki wheelchair. Now if I give my sister the less for me to stand, you just see them moving, then I'm like, mimi ndio mgonjwa mnaondokea. I'll feel like, kwani mimi niko aje mnaniangalia hivyo? There was this bitterness in me. And I will even stand and look at you. If I notice it's you staring at me, I will stand and look at you and ask you, what's up? Why are you looking at me? And I will move. I will go. And my sister will be, just let us just go. Then I'm like, why are they looking at me? Have you not seen someone on crutches? Or what is so unique with me that you're staring at me? I was bitter.
How did you overcome the bitterness?
This bitterness has been there for a long period until I started like accepting the situation. But I was very bitter. Nobody could tell me that she's in pain and I sympathize. I would be like, do you know the pain I'm in? Unaniambia tu ni kichwa inakuuma. What is kichwa kukuuma? Just take a couple of water. Just take water and you'll be okay. Take Panadols, it's just 10 shillings. Do you know the medication I'm using for you to tell me I'm in pain? You don't even have to tell me you're in pain. And I will even say, pain is for human beings. You think you're a monkey? Pain is for human beings. I'm a human being, I'm in pain. So are you telling me you are in pain? I could not feel people's pain. In fact, I would be happy. We are in the same boat in pain. And yours is just minor. So you don't even have to tell me, just keep with your pains. Keep them to yourself.
Wow. How did you come out of that, the bitterness? Are you still bitter?
No, I'm not bitter. Like, I was a baby I was a baby growing in the spirit.
Yeah.
So I came to understand things happen with reasons. Yeah, I came to understand it might happen to me, it might happen to someone else. Yeah, and you don't have to question why. Some things happen with a reason.
Yeah.
For you maybe to encourage someone else later, but I will be like, was it just me to be an example? That bitterness could still arouse in me. Was it just me to be used as an example? Why?
Did you know about the other people in the matatu you were on?
No. Actually, I didn't know anyone whom we were traveling with. I didn't know anyone. It was just a matatu that was headed from town, and I boarded here in Nyaya Stadium. I didn't familiarize with whoever was around me. So when the accident happened, I didn't know any.
So you don't even know whether some people survived. You don't know the condition of the people who are in the matatu. You have no information.
I came to learn that after 3 years. Now when I'm able to walk on my feet, and I was training myself to, that is when I was doing my physiotherapy. That is when I was told to go to industrial area where my case had been reported, to go and be given the BP3. So upon arrival, I told them the case number, and when the police showed me the book, I just saw it written on the top. How was it written? How? It was a book written, the top was written red, that page. A tragic accident, 16, 3 survived. From 16, out of 16, 3 survived. And that was my page where my case was. So from that is when I learned after 3 years. That is now in 2017. 14, 15, 16, after 4 years. It's when I came to learn that we were 16 in that matatu, and only 3 survived, and I'm the only lady among 2 men, and those police told me, and I'm the first one to go there for P3, meaning they didn't know the 2. If
they don't know whether they made it or not.
They don't know. So I was like, I'm not even supposed to continue with this case, because if I'm the only one, I should just be grateful to God. So that also gave me a turnaround to start giving gratitude to God. Na hiyo bitterness even ndio ilianza kunitoka. I was like, out of 16, 3, and these 2 they don't know where they are, and here I am for the case for the P3. Then those police were like, you are among the lucky, because the other 2 don't know where they are, and up to now I don't know if they're alive or not. Yeah. So after the removal of the fixator, I'm told to start exercising a little bit, because my leg was a bit weak, and it was somehow painful, because 4 years you've never stepped down. Even just, and up to now, because I use a shoelace, I don't even know how the floor feels. As in, it's something you don't get in contact regularly. It's just on rare occasions. So even putting my leg down, I was like, it felt so different. 4 years, I've never stepped my leg down. It felt so different. And after the surgery, before discharge, the doctor came with the assistant and told me, Judy, now you'll be using a special shoe. That is before the discharge. And I'm like, which is the special shoe? I'm curious. I'm like, what do you mean, doctor? And the assistant was encouraging him, aeke chuma ndani, so that my leg doesn't become shorter than the other one. And doctor told him, the consultant told him, regarding her age, she's still young, and basically with the lifespan, living with that chuma kwa mguu, it's somehow
chuma inside
yes, it will be
to deal with the gap.
To deal with the gap. That is what the assistant wanted the doctor to do, but the doctor said, because I'm still young, he prefers to dock the bones, and he prefers my leg to be shorter than the other, and it will be less pain. And he asked me, or do you prefer the other opinion?
Because that's another surgery.
That is another surgery. Yes. Then he says we will be going back, because it's like we are done with the surgery, so we have to go back.
So to deal with the leg, she was suggesting to put a bone,
metal. So he asked me, or whose opinion would you prefer weke chuma ndani and then your legs be on the same level with the same length, or you prefer to use a shoelace? Then I'm like, ile viatu watu huvaa unapata kiatu moja ni kubwa ingine. Then I'm like, sasa aje. But I thought, that is I'm speaking, I thought daktari aliniambia nitatembea, but sasa hiyo shoelace ni kutembea pia. Then I was like, daktari, I'll just go the opinion, no problem, as long as I walk. But you see, I'm in a somehow denial. I'm like, why the shoelace? I didn't know I'm in this process to use a shoelace in the end. Then she tells me, no, this is the shoe you'll be using. Wakaleta mtu akanipima. I don't know if it was a physiotherapist. Akapima the length. The difference was 3.5 centimeters.
Okay.
So they told me I go to Kikuyu, they make that special shoe. And I give them the measurements. But if you still go there, you'll still take the measurements for accuracy. So from there, I went to Kikuyu Hospital. They took the length and they made the special shoe for me. But here I'm used to this boot. I'm used to this boot. Now I'm like, no, I just have to use this boot. I don't have to use that. So I'm walking. I don't have to use that special shoe.
So is the boot also raised?
No, the boot kuna venye iko tu nakupea certain comfortability.
Okay.
You know, unaiweka hewa pia inaongeza, like inapea mguu strength. So when you walk, I could not even limp. I was just okay. Yeah. Okay. So I was like, no, I just have to use the Vaco boot. But again, I'm like, for how long? Hiyo kiatu ingine ni daktari amesema tu tuonde. Hiyo nitatembelea kwa nyumba. When I'm out of the house, Vaco boot kwa mguu. When going for the checkups, I could carry the shoelace and then go there. And then he would tell me and wrap, like nitoyo kiatu. I would wear basically it was like a process also for me to get used to walking in that shoe. It's not just like put on the shoes, walk, no. Because I even have to learn how to walk. Yeah. So I would go there and it would tell me nitoyo boot. I would wear the special shoes, try to walk. And you are taught like fanya hivi kichwa nini because wewe mwenyewe you don't notice you are limping. And the shoelace, it has just to be a minimal limping. Yeah. That is, we are in 2016 when now in December in those visits. Now I'm using the ball for exercises. He told me to buy this stationary bicycle for riding just to strengthen the leg. I did that till December, and then 2017 around May, after checkup, he told me now to start the physiotherapy journey. Then I'm like, I thought I'm done. Now there is another journey waiting for me. He recommended I go to spinal injury, and by that moment, my knee could not fold. It was stiff. My leg was just straight. The knee joint was not functioning. The ankle joint was. It was stiff. It was not moving. So I started the physiotherapy. But I could go with that Vaco boot because of movements in the matatu to ease pain. And then when I'm at the physiotherapy, I would use the shoelace. The physiotherapy could help me how to walk. He places a mirror and he tells you to walk. Now I started trying to use one crutch. I would walk like facing the mirror. And you will notice if you are limping, then you have to keep a certain posture. Yeah. And he will do the physiotherapy. Like my nerves got affected because it was badly bruised. Like it affected the nerves. So he could connect my leg on the electricity, like to help the nerves function again. Yeah. And he will massage the leg, do all the therapy. And it was a painful session. But these physiotherapists really helped me because when I started my physiotherapy in July 2017, my leg could hardly fold. I could sit in the taxi like the whole back seat. I could occupy the whole back seat because it could not fall. But after like 2-3 months, I was able to sit like this. Yeah. And it was like a miracle for me to sit like this in a car. Because all those years, now we are headed to 4 years. 2014, 15, 16, we are in 2017. 4 years. Now it's when I can sit in this posture.
Yes?
Can I enter?
We're still continuing. Ni nini? Aingia?
Baby Savannah analia.
Mimi sijui huyo ni nani?
Wahoo.
Ati?
Wahoo. Alikuwa analia na ameacha peke yake.
Sawa, mbebe, enda mkae huko kwa auntie. Acha nimalize. Funga mlango. Tulikuwa wapi?
In the physiotherapy. Physiotherapy. Which place?
When you went,
yeah, it was now 4 years. And I could now sit this. I would feel so different.
Wow.
Now in the house, I could even sit on a chair like this and put a pillow on my back. And all those years, while sleeping, I would sleep in one posture on my back. Because of that fixate, I could not sleep on the left side, right side, nor on the left side. So I used to sleep on the back. And this brought me back problems. Yeah, I could not sit for long hours. I could feel pains in my back. So anytime I would sit this, I would use a pillow to support myself. Continue with the physiotherapy session. Going to physiotherapy, I would pay cash and I would still use a taxi because I could not fold my knee. I couldn't use a matatu.
Yeah.
So these are still expenses we are using money that you are not earning. Yeah. So I would say the Harambe that did help me with the physiotherapy session for a while because when I started the session, they were on daily basis. Monday to Friday. Then when my leg proceeded well, after like 3 months, I began going 3 hours on a week, twice. And Dr. Even the physiotherapist noticed I used to come in a taxi and live in a taxi. Like he noticed the phobia in me. Because there is a day he asked me, Judy, you are now supposed not to use the vacuum board. Then I'm like, why Dr.? And my leg is Japan. No. Now you have to start accepting the reality. This is the shoe you're supposed to be using, not the vacuum board. Because your leg, he told me your leg is now okay. You don't have to use the vacuum. But then I'm like, how? Now all these I've been using this shoe I'm used to it. How will I use that? But the reason why I was not using that shoe is just because let me see kuzaliwa hivi. And this is a shoe race. It's for those who are born hivo, not me. I'm like, nikivayo, people will just stare at me. They will stare at my leg. I'm like, no. For me, because I didn't have really long dresses near, I had some short dresses, but with the vacuum boot, I could wear any dress. But without the vacuum boot, I have to wear a trouser. And sometimes the wounds are still, with the grafted skin is very, very, very which term I use? It's very sensitive. Like it's a delicate skin whereby you just squeeze a little bit. To make it forms into a wound. Yeah, so I preferred your vacuum boot. Like nikigonga, it won't affect my leg. Like your vacuum boot will sustain the nini. Haiwezi fikia mguu. But deep down I was like, pia hii kiatu is not meant for me. I was not born evil. No. Now you see I'm in denial also. Yeah. Now the physiotherapy told me now I'll send you to a counselor. Then I'm like, Sasa, Daktari, I'm not earning money. Even the one I'm using for physiotherapy is, I have to borrow friends, I have to borrow from, my sisters have to come in. Now, going to see a counselor, where do I get the money? If physiotherapy is a problem, where do I get money for the counselor? Then I told him, you just keep on talking to me. Just keep on talking to me. After the physiotherapy, you just behave like you're a counselor. Talk to me and I will just do as you say as time goes by. And that is what he did. After the session, we'll go to the nurses, the physiotherapist room, he will talk to me, ask me why do you have to use a taxi and not a matatu, and sahi unaweza like sit like this. Then I told him I will not even survive in that matatu, like the trauma that was in me. How? I told him, how will I even, should I close my eyes while in that matatu? Then he understood the problem. So he told me, when you're coming for a session, ensure you are accompanied by somebody, and you start using matatu, but ensure you have somebody. And I did that for like 2-3 months, and I gained the courage of going to the physiotherapy alone.
What happened the first time you got into a matatu?
I was so scared because the moment I entered in the matatu, I had a very strong headache. Because I was like, Sasa, when the accident happens, this one I will not be spared. I will just die like the other ones. I don't know if I will survive this one. So it will really traumatize me. I'll have a very bad headache. So any moment I will go into a matatu, I will have to use painkillers. I will take some Panadols, but it will not even hold that headache. I will apply some ointments, like Kaluma, to ease the pain. But in that matatu, I'll just close my eyes and pretend I'm even sleeping. But the reason is I don't want even to look at how the bus is moving. I will just close my eyes and like pretend I'm sleeping. So even pole. There is a day I managed to go alone, and my sister was so scared. He was like, how did you do it? I just told her I went into the matatu, pretended I'm sleeping, but I could peep and check where are we so that nisipitishwe. I would close my eyes, open kidogo here, and I got used to using matatu slowly by slowly.
Wow, that's quite a journey. And how are you doing now? How is your leg?
The physiotherapy session ended in 2019. Actually, I'm the one who stopped going. I was like, I'm okay. I had that stationary bicycle at home. I will do bicycle. I will ride the bicycle. I will use the ball. Now I will increase the air in it. I will use the ball, and I will see the leg getting strength. I still continue with the checkup with the doctor, and he was like, your leg is doing okay. Then I'm like, when will I be told not to use the crutch? No one is telling me that this is the moment you stop using the crutch. I'm still using the crutch. So it happened a moment I was in the house with my niece and nephew. Actually, they became my friends at that moment. They were the major friends that I had. They were always there for me, and they would ask questions that would sometimes disturb me, because the younger one, the niece, would ask me, Auntie utatembea lini? Auntie utarudi job lini? They were excited. They were excited when I used to go to work. I would buy them items. There's a day I invited them at place of work. The nephew it was his birthday, so I invited them at place of work. I bought them pizza. So for them it was just like, Auntie, when are you going back to work? So that we'll be coming to your place of work. You buy us pizzas, you buy us nice things. My niece used to ask me, when are you getting well? When will you go back to work? Then I'm like, nitapona too. I don't know when, but nitapona. So there is this day they took my crutches, both of them. And remember, I'm still using both crutches. I cannot just go with one. I'm still using.
Even in the house?
In the house, I could try use one.
Okay.
But I will feel like I'm really limping, like I'm really putting a lot of weight on the leg. So they took the crutches and ran with them. Then I'm like, sasa mbona mnatoroka? And you just know I cannot walk without the crutches. Then they told me, walk, auntie, walk. You can walk. Then I'm like, let me try. And I made the first step, the second step, and the third step. And that moment they ran away outside. It's the time my sister came in. Then they're like, Junior, mnafanya nini? Why are you doing this to your aunt? And I told them, no, she wanted to be the Mkambia. They've even made me realize I can move steps without the crutch. Then they're like, try, ebu tembea tuone.
But you have the shoe on.
Yeah, I have the shoe on, the shoe raise. I have it on. Now I'm getting used to wearing the shoes, because physiotherapist really helped me. He jokingly threatened me, if I see you in that vacuum boot, I'll take it to another patient who really needs it, so that nione utakuwa unavaa nini, because I'm telling you daily, use the other raised shoe, and uko tuna hiyo boot. Ananiambia, the moment I see you with the vacuum boot, I'll take it away. So on other days I will go with it and hide it. After the session I will go, nione mali I cannot access, the hospital is big. Nenda navalisha kiatu yangu and then I go, but little by little I got used to the shoe raise, nikawa najaribu kutembea na, so that time when my knees took my crutches, it's when I knew I can make steps without the crutch. And from that day I started moving, but I would ensure the crutch is somewhere close. And that is how I started walking without the crutch. Yeah, but the outside I could use one, and up to now I only use a crutch when I'm stepping out of the house, like when I'm going to town. But basically, if you meet me around where I stay outside, even if I go to the shop, I don't go with the crutch. I just walk.
You walk.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. And now, how is the skin? How is your leg? Do you feel pain?
Actually, I really thank God for this far. During those moments, I could not realize the doings of God, but nowadays, when I move around, I see scary people with scary situations. I'm like, indeed, I don't have to complain. Even if I complain, God will just be like, what is this? Can't you see you are in a better position? Yeah, because there is a scar here. The whole of my thigh, like this is they took the skin for grafting, and like my leg is, ndio inarudisha color yake, but it's not the same color. Iko na ile scars. It's scary. Yes, so I use, like bathing, I can't use these perfumed soaps, because once I use them, you just notice with the grafted skin, now the recipient, you just see it reacting differently. Kapati inaanza kupeel. Because again you can't scrub, you can't oga tu ati unaoga hivi ati. So most of the time when I'm even bathing, I don't even wash this leg. I just wash the lower part, and like when I'm free, I'm in at home, I'll take warm water and wash with it plain. But if I'm bathing standing, because I do bath while standing, and if I use perfumed soaps, it affects the skin. So most of the time I use the Kipande soap, the one that is not perfumed. And with oil I can't apply here, the recipient. I can't apply the lotion or perfumed oils. No, I use like the bio oil. The doctor recommended I use bio oil to at least rejuvenate the skin. And bio oil is very expensive, and like it's very scarce. You won't just go to any supermarket and get it. No, go to be told it's not there, and it's a small bottle. It's expensive because it's the oil that I'm supposed to use, but as in at least your sky level buy. And I sometimes use the shea butter, the raw shea butter. Sometimes I use that one, but kama sina napaka ng'ombe. The other parts I will use kama ni lotion, but here, and especially this here, I can apply lotion kama nimesahau. But here I'm very sensitive, because the moment una apply to your mafutiko, unapata inatoa hizo, inabambuka, the skin peels off. So if I don't have bio oil or the shea butter, I use ng'ombe. Yeah, and sometimes when it's cold, the leg is, I'm in pains, especially in cold season. Utapata I cannot even do nowadays I can do house chores, and I do it. When I'm doing it, I sometimes smile. I'm alone, and sometimes I smile. I'm like, so this is Judith, like I can wash. Mtu mwenye alikuwa analala kwa kitanda 4 years now. Sometimes when I'm alone and I'm able to wash my clothes, we are just 3 in my family. I go to the bathroom, I sit, and I put a basin on on a bucket to raise. I wash while sitting. But just being able to do that makes me so happy, and I just tell God, thank you. If it is me who is washing. Because I don't think even if any of my family believe that I will be able to do any house chores. I don't think. I can wash. Kwenda kuanika ndio itakuwa tricky, because I have to carry very little. I have to put very little cloth in the bucket, and I can only carry in a bucket. I cannot carry an item like that. I cannot. I have to use like my left, like in a bucket, not a basin. I'm able to do house chores, and I'm very happy. I'm able to cook for my family, unless I'm just in pain, because there are times my leg behaves there's a season inakuwa tuna pains. Utapata now my ankle joint, I forgot it. My ankle joint, my knee joint became flexible and I can actually fold it, but the ankle part, it's still stiff. It can move just a little bit. So you find sometimes when I'm seated for a long period of like 5 hours without standing, you'll find when I stand, I'll experience pains and I'll walk with limping, with a lot of limping. When if I'm on a shoulder, I'll walk with a limping because I've stayed for a long period of time. And this is because like the blood supply is not so well, the supply of the blood. So sometimes the ankle joint swells. Yeah, we'll find when you're seated for long or you've traveled a long distance, like me going home, nitafika ka hiyo joint imeswell, and most of the time I have to use ointments, pain. I don't prefer using painkillers zile za kuswallow. I prefer using it in the massage oil, like ointment in iko na painkiller in it, like Rufenac. Yeah, I apply on the joint, and then some exercises need to be done like on a weekly basis. My husband helps me to massage the leg. There are some days which are good. The whole week I won't be in any pain, but there are some days you find like I will go to church and I'm even unable to stand. But it reaches a point even when I'm seated in church, I'm like, no. If I'm just able even to go to church, I just get that strength, I just have to stand. Even if I will not dance, but I just have to stand because again I have to balance my leg because actually it's not that, it's a bit weak compared to the other leg. I can't like do other normal duties like dancing, running. I cannot run. I cannot really dance at like sijui sasa unaruka. I cannot jump. But I thank God for what I can do now. I really thank God. If I'm able to kupanda matatu without those kupiga kelele, no, I don't have those flashes. I can just, even it reached a point hata mtu akitubeba kwa gari mbele hapo mbele, no, I could not face the road at TV tunaenda tunaangalia barabara. I would close my eyes and then I'm like, let me just sit up at the back. Hata hawa watu wa matatu wakitaka kunibeba hapo mbele, I usually avoid. Or if the insister is hapo pengine ndio kuna kitu, I will just be like, naangalia barabara, but at some point I'm like, let me just close my eyes. But those flashes are disappearing and I really thank God. Ni yeye amenipendelea.
Amekuweka. Have you regained all the nerves?
No, the sensitivity is a bit low. Like there is a part on my leg here. If I close my eyes and you touch my leg, I won't be able to tell you've touched my leg because the nerves. But nowadays I can feel kombali. And my only prayer is that I know I've been told by the doctors your joint is rudi because the fluid is like imesha kwa your joint. So they're like, we just manage the leg with the ointments, with some painkillers. But when a flash, I'm like, if I was told my leg will be amputated, but I went with the doctor's word, I believed in this doctor who said I will walk again. Then here in naambiwa that the joint will remain like that. I'm not banking on it. It's one of my prayer items that God will just restore my leg completely. Not that the length will be the same, but I won't have to use painkillers. I won't have to tell my husband massage my leg, no. Whereby I will just live a normal life free from pains. Even if I have to use the shoe raise and the crutch, but just God to minimize my pains and just to make those nerves work again because he resurrected Lazarus. So he's able to resurrect my nerves which are dead. But to me, I know they will function. They will function.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. And I pray, I join with you in your faith that you will be fully restored and that your leg will regain the function. Like your faith to kona wewe hapo, that God will restore you in that way. And looking back to where you have come, and it has been a long journey. of years of recovery and pain and bitterness, but now you can smile. You even have a husband.
Yes. Indeed, God has been merciful in my life.
Yes.
Sometimes when they say in church, pray, I'm just like, I just have to tell God, thank you. Me having a daughter, me having a husband, me being able to wash clothes, me being able to take myself to the bathroom, being able to cook for my family, being able to run my business, even though I have some difficulties in a certain moments, but I always say, God, you had a mercy over me. As in, His favor is just too much on me. And I just pray that His Spirit will not depart on me.
He will not. The Holy Spirit is here to stay. Like He's with us to stay. Amen. So He will not depart from you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. We will invite you again. Is this husband the same boyfriend you were talking about in your story?
He's the same boyfriend.
He's the same boyfriend. Oh, wow.
And in my bitterness, I remember in my bitterness in 2015 when I was being told to amputate that, like the bitterness in me, I remember him coming to visit me and I told him, it's a high time you look for another girlfriend. Huyu mwenye uko na yeye anda kukatwa mguu. So just leave me. Nah, don't be with me because of you are empathizing with me. If it's for love, stay. But if it is pity, I've given you permission. I was bitter. Don't even be visiting me. You go and look for another person. I'm like a garbage here. I'll be a burden to you. And I'm glad he didn't leave.
He stayed.
Like he was like, this is just, maybe he understood because he's in that field. He understood why I was speaking in that manner. It was a stage. Bitterness takes stage. Because even me using that shoelace in the beginning, I was bitter. There was still bitterness in me. Despite what God had done for me, there was still bitterness. Like I see someone looking at me. And with my niece, she really loves me. I adore this niece of mine. I adore her. Pharrell, I adore her. I love my nieces, but Pharrell, I adore her. She was there like most of the time because the nephew was taken to a boarding school. So, like, she was there for me. Niendo tulikuwa na hapa kutoka shule. Could talk, I help her do her homework, blah blah. She was my friend. So hata kutembea doing exercise home when we are walking. I think she had learned from me. If I would notice someone is looking at me, I would stand and stare at them and I will use signs. But for her, she would be like, oh, jaona mtu akitumia crutches. Why are you staring at my aunt? Jipe shughuli.
How old is she now?
She's in Form 3 now.
Oh, wow.
She's a grown-up. She comes to my place, we cook, we talk. She's a grown-up,
Oh, say something to Pharrell before we close.
My prayer, every day, when I'm praying, I might even forget to pray for my daughter. But this one, I usually mention her. And I just tell God to reward her for the kindness she showed me. When people ran from me, when I was like a burden to people, when I was a nobody to people, when my voice could not be heard, she was there for me. I always pray and just tell God, may you just reward her for the kindness. Kunimwagia mkojo. I just tell God to reward her in the best way she can reward her.
Wow. And your sister, your family? And
my those years I was still not married, like the 4 years in my recovery journey, I was staying with my elder sister. That is my sister Harriet. I love her so much. And now I've grown and we are almost the same size. And we have these similarities whereby people think this is this, but they only differentiate me by the use of the crutch. And if you are so familiar with us, we'll be able to differentiate. But we sometimes confuse people.
You will very much resemble one another.
There's a day she sent me to a certain shop to collect certain items for her. So I went there and tell the lady, I've been sent by Harriet to collect blah blah. Then she's like, that lady was surprised. So instead of giving me whatever I've been sent, she's looking at me. Then I'm like, shida ni nini? And she's like, she went to call my sister. Anapata si mimi nashika simu. Then she's like, whom did you send? And I'm seeing here on the counter. My sister laughed and she told her, I'm not the one, it's my sister. So I really thank God for her. She was a brave woman in this journey. She was brave. Because despite seeing me in like in my air. Those were heavy matters for us, despite seeing me how broken I was, how bitter I was. There is no day she raised her voice on me like, mbona unafanya hivi? Like she understood me. Yeah, she understood me. And she was there for me. And she has been there for me.
Yeah.
And we still love each other. I love you so much. I call her mommy because we don't have a mother, so she's like a mother to us. Yeah, so even I text her, I will text, hi mommy, good morning mama. Yeah, I love her so much. I always pray that, I don't pray for God to reward, just for God to bless her and to give her peace in whatever she does. To my sister Helen, I really thank God for her. She has been there for me. She was there for me. Even though I was not living with her, but she could make every effort she could get to come and visit me. She has been with me in this journey, and she's the one who even introduced me into the business. She has been helping me in my business career, teaching me 1, 2, 3 things, and we really love each other. For my sister Lynette, I really love her. She was younger, but they took part of taking care of me. Yeah, they took care of me. My sister Esther, I love her so much. We are 5. And to my brother Barton, I just pray for God to bless him because he was also there for me. He could take me to clinics. Yeah. You can imagine he's taking me to clinics and I'm a lady, she's a man. Then I would ask myself, now my brother, if I want to go to the toilet, what will she do? And I can't go by myself. So I would ask myself, maybe those are the things that is going in his mind. But there are times he took me for clinics and he would visit me to the hospital. Yeah, I thank God for my family. I really thank God for my family. They never left me. They were there for me. Yeah. And they will feel my pains. And when they see me, they smile. Yeah, and they usually tell me you are a conqueror. If they're going through any hell, I usually remind them, Sasa, Helen, if I'm able to walk, if I overcame the pains, what is this to God? And then I'm like, Judy ushasema, it will be okay. Like, I always remind them, Mimi, I used a wheelchair. I was bedridden for 4 years. And I'm here talking, smiling with you. So it is too hard for God. Then they're like, nakubaliana na mambo yako. Yeah, we love each other so much. And I love them so much. And I thank them for being there for me. They were there for me. Yeah.
Your husband?
And now my husband, he was a boyfriend in my recovery journey. And he was there for me. He could move from Machakos every weekend to come and visit me. This is a student with no income, and he will ensure he comes to visit me on Saturday, check on me, and go back. He graduated, and he's working in a, let me not mention the hospital, he's working in a big hospital in Kenya. And I thank God for him. Yeah.
Wow.
And we are married with one beautiful daughter.
One daughter.
And we are happy and at peace. And I thank God for that because ni Mungu alinipendelea tu, and his mercy was on me. Like I was to shame the devil. If unaona I was like going to achieve my dreams and ukaona unieke chini through putting me down. No. There was like I was just to rise again. And I believe there are better days ahead.
Yes. My prayer for you is, and our prayer even on the show, is that God will, give you the desires of your heart. Amen. For yourself, for your family, and that even God will see your family through. If there's any hiccups or any challenges, may the Lord just come through for you guys. And I look forward to having you back together with your husband so that he comes and shares. Even Harriet, should come and tell us what is this as was driving you to continue supporting your sister. We know of families, like I said, I'm in chaplaincy ministry. We go to hospitals and you find people whose families have abandoned them because of the kind of situation they are in. So people do abandon their family members in hospitals. Some abandon them in the house. They just, or push them to go the shortcut route. Your family could have pushed you to amputate the leg, but they supported your decision. Like you were the final say in your own life. Even if it was very hard and costly for everybody, maybe amputating would have been cheaper. And less hassle, cut the leg and let's just move on
to your life.
And go back to your life. But they walked the journey with you. You wanted your leg to be preserved, and they walked the journey with you. That's so amazing. It's an amazing story. And if you're supporting someone, a family member, a friend, going through a medical issue, maybe it's not an accident, maybe it's a medical issue, something that just developed, and you don't know how to help this someone, just be there. Pray for them. Just be present. Just be present and encourage them, knowing that there is nothing impossible with God. Even like Judy was saying earlier, that it was impossible with these doctors. Among 3 doctors, only one is seeing a possibility of
me walking
of you walking. But these 2 are like, this is not going to work.
Just have to amputate.
But finally here you are walking. Walking, and it's a miracle. It's a testimony. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much, and I'm so glad I was able to do this without crying. Actually, it's going to be 11 years since the accident happened in March. That's 16. It's going to be 11 years, and my prayer was, I want, when I will be encouraging somebody, when I'll go to testify this. Actually, I've never found a platform to testify this even in church, because I was like, will I be given two hours speaking? No. So what I've been doing is, like, maybe when I go to the hospital, I see a patient, I talk to him or her, but I've never got a platform where I could just share my story. And I was really yearning for this, and I was telling God, give me the grace that hiyo siku ikifika, I will not cry, and this will show me a sign that I've recovered. I'm not in bitterness. Like I've accepted whom I am. I'm happy. I was telling myself, I have to testify this in no tears, and when I'm able to walk, and God has made it to happen.
Wow, thank you even for coming.
Amen.
And
thank you for
encouraging
having
everyone.
me. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. And I hope I've encouraged someone somewhere who might be going through a certain situation that is putting him or her down. I hope this story encourages you that you should never give up. Keep on pushing. And God will do you good.
Amen. Whatever is impossible with man is possible with God. Even if it's possible with man, God's plan is even better.
Exactly.
Is even better. Man will, tell you to take the shortcut, but God knows what is best for you and even for your future. So thank you so much for watching. Please, if you have not yet subscribed, consider giving us your subscription and share this story with as many people as you can. There are many people who are, in bitterness. They're going through stuff in life and they're feeling like it's the end of the world. Clearly, we have seen from Judy's story that it's not the end of the world. There is hope, and God hears and God sees. But just because you're in pain right now, and just because you're not hearing God, or there seem to be no answers, it does not mean that that's the reality. The reality is that God sees, and He knows.
Usually in the middle of our calamity.
Yes, He's in the middle of your calamity, and He's in control. So choose to trust God. Choose to trust God and to allow the Holy Spirit to walk with you, and allow the people who are helping you to help you. Allow them to help you, allow them to walk with you. So thank you so much for tuning in. We can go on and on and on, but we have come to the end of tonight's show, and I know that Judy will come back with her husband, and they will tell us how they got here, and also the boyfriend. The husband, when he was the boyfriend, he will tell us how he walked the journey with her and how he managed to stay in the relationship even when Judy did not want to stay because of the pain and bitterness that she was going through. So thank you so much. Let's see you again on the next one. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.